What's up, guys? It's Chiefs Chat, episode 15, and I have a chair. In this episode, since we don't have a game to talk about, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Chiefs players of all time. So this is a list that I created myself, and these are players that only I have seen play. So there's not going to be, Len Dawson, obviously. There's not going to be Derek Thomas, those guys. Those guys aren't going to be on this list, unfortunately. So I've just got guys that I've seen play. So I started watching back in probably about 2009. So pretty much just players that have been on this team over the last decade are going to be on this list. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get into it. So at number 10, I've got Matt Cassel. And, if you guys remember Matt Cassel, he wasn't a good quarterback. And that's the funny thing about Matt Cassel. He was pretty bad. And, the reason he's so high on this list, or he's even on this list at all, is because Matt Cassel, he was the quarterback of this team. When I first, started enjoying watching this team, when I first fell in love with this football team, he was the starting quarterback. So naturally, I'm going to have some fond memories of Matt Cassel, being on this team. And, not to mention that 2010 season where we did go 10-6, Matt Cassel was the starting quarterback of that team. So, I've got a lot of respect for Matt Cassel, being able to, start for this Chiefs team back in the day, I guess I should say. But, Matt Cassel, he wasn't a good quarterback, by any means necessary. He was pretty, if anything, average. But, I would even go as far as to say a below average quarterback for the NFL. So, after, the Chiefs, I think he went to the Titans. I think he was on the Cowboys for a little bit. I think he was on the Vikings for a little bit. He just kind of bounced around the league until I think he retired, not too long ago. Maybe he's still in the league. I have no idea. I haven't even checked up on him recently. So that's number 10. Number 9, I got Dexter McCluster. Now, if you guys remember Dexter McCluster, number 22, this guy was electrifying. He was like the Tyreek Hill of, the 2010, 2011, 2012 seasons. I mean, this guy, he was electrifying. He was super fast, and he was a great return guy. He was so fun to watch. That's the thing about Dexter McCluster. He just had game-breaking speed. And, he was just like, one of the guys on our team that just had a great personality. He was just a super fun guy. And, he was a super fun guy to watch. I'm super happy he was on our team. And Dexter McCluster, I think he's actually playing up in Canada now or something like that. I think he ended up leaving the league for a little bit. And, I think he's still playing, though. I think he's still balling out, in Canada. So that's number 9. Now, number 8, I got Justin Houston. Now, Justin Houston, he was on our team not long ago. He was still balling out for the Chiefs back in 2018, I believe. So Justin Houston, I respect the longevity of Justin Houston because he's been in the league a long time, and he's been doing a great job for a long time. I mean, if you guys remember even last year, when he was on the Colts, still is on the Colts, but when we played the Colts, I mean, he shut us down. I mean, he's the guy that made that game-saving tackle for the Colts. And, he just kind of looked at the Chiefs bench like, maybe you guys shouldn't have released me. And I was sitting there like, man, he's probably right. We shouldn't have released him. But we did end up releasing him, at the end of the 2018 season. And, Justin Houston, he's number 8 on this list because, I've just had a lot of fond memories of Justin Houston. I grew up watching him play, and he was, always one of our best defenders. And, he was just great at getting to the quarterback. I think it was 2015, he led the NFL in sacks. He had 20 sacks. And, that's just great. That's great for Justin Houston. He was one of those guys, when Eric Berry went down with cancer, he was always one of those guys who gave him respect. He had the number 29 on under his jersey. I always loved that, A lot of respect for Justin Houston. So he's number 8 on this list. So now we got number 7, okay? We got Dwayne Bowe, okay? Dwayne Bowe, wide receiver for the Chiefs, one of the best wide receivers in franchise history. I think he's still 3, I think he might be 2 or 3 on the all-time receiving yards list for the Chiefs. Dwayne Bowe, he was a fantastic receiver. In his heyday, he was just absolutely balling out for the Chiefs. A couple of 1,000-yard reception seasons. And Dwayne Bowe, I loved watching him play. I idolized him as a kid. And here, I'll give you guys kind of a funny story of something that happened actually recently. So last year, okay, it was the Vikings game. Well, we were at home. And we were playing the Vikings. Patrick Mahomes at the time was actually injured, so Matt Moore was our starting quarterback. It was still a super fun game. But anyway, pre-game, okay, my favorite part about that whole game, here, I'll give you guys the story. Pre-game, okay, we're sitting there, and, my dad, he comes up and he gives us, he's got, a plate of barbecue nachos. It's got, barbecue sauce and obviously, the meat and then the cheese. It was actually super good, but he gives us, he brings us a couple plates of those, and, we're just chilling, we're just hanging out. And, I'm just sitting there, and I look, at down the sideline, and I'm like, that's Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe's just walking on the Chiefs sideline. And so I get, I take my jersey out. I had a shirt on my jersey, but I take my jersey off and I get my pen ready and I'm like, oh my God, Dwayne Bowe, he's going to sign my jersey. That'd be freaking awesome. If Dwayne Bowe signed my jersey, I idolized this guy as a kid, I was so excited for him to, I was so excited to get a signature from him. But guess what Dwayne Bowe does, okay? This guy jumps in my lap. I'm not even kidding. He jumps in my lap. Like, he literally hops up into the stands and he's basically on my lap. He smelled great. Like, I don't know why he smelled so good, but that's just the one thing I remember about Dwayne Bowe. He just smelled amazing. So, Dwayne Bowe, obviously, the kid in me was just freaking out because Dwayne Bowe was on my lap. And this guy, I idolized him as a kid. He was my favorite, one of my favorite players, of all time as a kid. I used to watch so many, highlight videos of him on YouTube. This guy was literally on my lap. I was freaking out. But Dwayne Bowe, number 7 on this list. I think he's probably a little bit higher than he would be if he didn't do that last season. And that's another thing about Dwayne Bowe. He bounced around the league after he left the Chiefs. I think he was on the Browns for a little bit. But, he still considers the Chiefs his team, Chiefs Kingdom is just kind of, Dwayne Bowe's thing. So he's just chilling on the Chiefs sideline during home games. I think that's really awesome. It was great. It was fantastic. So that's number 7 on my list. So number 6, I got the Honey Badger. All right, Tyrann Mathieu. He's only been on the team for about a year and a half, but the thing about Tyrann Mathieu, he's a game changer, and I love the way that he plays. I mean, he's just got that, punch him in the throat mentality. He's got that leadership quality about him that I just absolutely respect. Tyrann Mathieu, he's just a different breed. He's an incredible guy, and before we had Tyrann Mathieu, obviously we had problems with our defense. Tyrann Mathieu, he came and he really changed the environment of this team because before, he ended up signing with the Chiefs. I didn't really think we had anybody that we could really rally around. I mean, we had guys like Marcus Peters, but I don't think he was really a guy that we could look to and rally around. So having Tyrann Mathieu on our team, he gives us, kind of a guy that we can look at and say, hey, this is our leader, and we're going to go and, we're going to win. We're going to do what we need to do on the defensive side of the ball every single week. So Tyrann Mathieu, I love having him on our team, and I'm super excited to see what else he brings to the table for the Chiefs Kingdom. Now, number 5, I got Travis Kelce. So Travis Kelce, I mean, what else can I say about the guy? He's been on the Chiefs since 2014, I believe, and he's got 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons, going on 5. This guy's just incredible. He's doing things that no other tight end has ever been able to do. And having Travis Kelce on our team, being able to witness him doing all that, and him fitting perfectly into Andy Reid's system, it's just something that I never want to take for granted because it doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen. You don't often get an incredible talent like Travis Kelce, and and being able to witness what he's doing for your home team, for your Chiefs team. So it's something I'm never going to take for granted. Travis Kelce, having him on our team, and he just obviously he brings such an incredible personality. He brings a lot of good vibes to this team. I love Travis Kelce. I just love his attitude, and I love his passion for the game. And, you gotta fight for your right to party. That's Travis Kelce's thing. And I'm all for it. Travis Kelce, an incredible guy. So number 4 on my list, all right? I got Alex Smith. Now, everyone knows about Alex Smith at this point. Had a tough injury in 2018 when he got traded to the Redskins. Super sad stuff, but he was able to overcome that. And now he is starting for the Washington football team. And man, it's an incredible story as it is. But even before that injury happened, he was an awesome quarterback for the Chiefs, and he really brought life back into this Chiefs team. And that's something I can really respect about him. And back in 2012, when we had that horrific 2-14 season, and things were just not looking good, Alex Smith really came in and he changed the environment. He turned this Chiefs team into a winning culture, and that's something that he doesn't get a lot of credit for. Andy Reid came in, he said, all right, I want Alex Smith on this team. Alex Smith came in and he did his job. He did what he needed to do to make this team a winning football team. And that's something we don't give him enough credit for. Alex Smith changed the way. He really, he paved the way for this Chiefs team to be as successful as it is right now. And Alex Smith, a lot of people look at him and say, he's a mediocre guy. He's a slightly above average quarterback, I would say, obviously first overall draft pick. But yeah, a lot of people don't look at him as this incredible guy. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was drafted in that same draft class, and he was obviously able to do a lot more than Alex Smith was. But Alex Smith, he doesn't get enough credit. And then you look at that 2017 season where we did draft Patrick Mahomes with the 10th overall pick. Alex Smith did his job. He did exactly what we needed him to do. He mentored he mentored Patrick Mahomes, got him up to, brought him up and helped him learn the system and got him ready to be a starting caliber quarterback in this league. Not only a starting caliber quarterback, he got him to where he was an NFL MVP. Okay? And that's something that not a lot of guys, you don't see a lot of guys mentoring these young, talented quarterbacks and being able to get them to the point where they are MVP talent. Alex Smith was able to do that with Patrick Mahomes. And man, I love Alex Smith. I just love the fact that he was able to do that for this team. And obviously, the best of luck to Alex Smith on the Washington football team. I really hope he does well. I really hope he balls out for that football team. Super proud of Alex Smith. I love the fact that he was a Chief for about 4 or 5 years. So Alex Smith at number 4. At number 3, I got Eric Berry. Now the thing about Eric Berry was he was just a dynamic player for this defense. Obviously, similar to Tyrann Mathieu in a way that he just had that leadership quality, and he really gave leadership mentality, and he gave everyone, someone to rally around, someone to really say, hey, you're the leader of this Chiefs defense, let's get it. So Eric Berry, a part of that really awesome Chiefs defense back in the early 2010, 2011, 2012, that defense was pretty nice. And, obviously Derek Johnson was on that team, Tamba Hali, Derek Johnson. And Eric Berry was kind of the guy. He was kind of the big star on that Chiefs defense. And, we pretty much used him for everything. Bob Sutton kind of utilized him the best way he could. He was guarding tight ends. He was running after running backs, and he was great at stopping the run. We don't have a lot of safeties. We haven't seen a lot of safeties. Tyrann Mathieu's pretty solid at it, but Eric Berry, he just came in there and he hit you hard, and he really was able to stop the run pretty well. And that's something he doesn't get a lot of credit for. Eric Berry, number 3 on my list. I loved watching him play. All right, so we're moving to number 2, and this is where things get a little controversial because this is a guy that I'm sure every other Chiefs fan has at number 1 on their list, especially when it comes to recent players. But at number 2 on my list, I have the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick Mahomes, okay? This guy's number 2, all right? He's not number 1, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but Patrick Mahomes, let's talk about why he is number 2 and, obviously is number 1 on most people's list. He just does things that no player has ever been able to do in the history of the NFL. Plain and simple, okay? And I'll refer to a quote that, not an exact quote, but something that Stephen A. Smith said on ESPN's First Take. He said that Patrick Mahomes has never been able to do anything. At this point in his career, he's never done anything that Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to do. And that's something I have to disagree with Stephen A. Smith because Patrick Mahomes, okay, look at it, just look at his stats. Don't even look at the way that he plays. Look at his stats. He's got 25 touchdowns and 1 interception. That is unheard of. That's absolutely unheard of. And I know I talked about this in my last video. But that's unheard of. Come on. Let's think about this, okay? Patrick Mahomes, 25 touchdowns, 1 interception. Has anybody ever done that in the history of the NFL? No. Okay? No. There's your answer right there. No. Has Aaron Rodgers ever done it? No. He's never done it. And that's just looking at stats. And then you look at his athletic ability, his ability to run out of the pocket, his ability to extend plays. You can't trust anybody else to do that kind of stuff other than Patrick Mahomes. He's the guy that you have to trust. He's the guy that you have to go to when you need a big play because he can just make things happen. With his legs, with his arm, he can do whatever he needs to do. He's got all the tools. He's got everything in his ability to be able to, throwing with his left hand, throwing underhand passes, throwing without even looking at his receiver. How? How is he able to do that? And he doesn't just do it for fun. He does it because he does what he needs to do to make the play. Looking the other way and throwing across your body, that's going to make the defense think that you're throwing that way. But no, he's flicking it that way. How do you even do that? How is that even possible? It's not. For any other quarterback, it's not. And that's the thing about Patrick Mahomes. He's just superhuman. He just does things that nobody else can do. Like, Stephen A. Smith, I respect you a lot. But how do you get that wrong? I just don't understand. It's something I think about a lot. It's something that kind of makes me upset. Stephen A. Smith doesn't give Patrick Mahomes the respect that he deserves. And don't get me wrong, I love Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback. But he just, he can't do everything that Patrick Mahomes can do. So, anyway, that's why I got Patrick Mahomes at number 2. But number 1, let's move on to the big money, all right? Number 1 on my list of who my favorite Chiefs player is of all time. And I'm sure You guys guessed it, probably. I don't know if you guys are thinking about the same guy that I am, but he's a running back. He's number 25, and he is Jamaal Charles. Now, this guy is my favorite player who has ever played the game. Jamaal Charles, okay? A classic guy. Drafted in 2009, okay? Didn't have a lot of playing time in his rookie season, but he still showed potential of being an incredible running back. Actually, kind of a funny story. He wore number 29 in his rookie season. That's something I didn't know for a while, but obviously I've watched a lot of Jamaal Charles highlights, and I saw his rookie season highlights, and he was wearing number 29. And then Eric Berry came in, took that number from him, and he went down to 25. But anyway, he was a rookie in 2009. And the second he got that starting job from the Chiefs, everyone knew what this guy was about, okay? He led the league in rushing yards, I believe in 2010. The second he got that starting job in 2010, he led the league in rushing yards, and he had game-breaking speed, okay? No one could outrun this guy. Jamaal Charles, he was so fast. I mean, he was a track star before he was a football player, and that really showed on the field. He outran everybody. There was nobody on any defense on any of the other 31 teams, including our defense, obviously, but there was no one that could outrun him. If he got into open field, it's over. Jamaal Charles, he's gone. The second he gets open space, he's gone because nobody can outrun him. And it wasn't even just that. It was just the elusiveness. I don't think I've ever seen a running back that has ever been more elusive than Jamaal Charles. He can just break tackles. He just wouldn't go down. Someone would hit him, on his side. He'd just kind of stumble and he'd just get right back up and keep running. This guy was just, he was a running back, obviously, but he was so good at running. I bet if you went up to Jamaal Charles today and said, hey, man, how were you able to do it? How did you do so good as an NFL running back? He'd probably just tell you, I ran, because that's what he did. He ran, and he ran better than everyone else on the field. That's what set him apart. That's what made him such a great player. So Jamaal Charles, this was a guy I idolized as a kid. I loved Jamaal Charles, even more than Dwayne Bowe, even more than Matt Castle, even more than everybody on this list. Jamaal Charles was my guy. And, in a couple of years, will Patrick Mahomes take that number one spot? Probably. But for now, I'm giving it to Jamaal, okay? Because I got to give him respect. I got to give him the respect he deserves. Jamaal Charles, I love the guy, okay? He's incredible. He's a great guy. Well, that does it for my list. So if you guys have some thoughts of your own, if you guys have your own top 10 list that you guys want to put in the comments down below, I would love to read it. Definitely love to talk football with other Chiefs fans, and follow my Instagram. I've got an Instagram now, FOTM Chiefs Chat. That's my Instagram. So follow that if you want to. So that's all I got for Chiefs Chat episode 15. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me, and I'll see you guys in the next Chiefs Chat. Peace out.